Well, good evening, family. I know a lot of y'all probably like, what is Bree doing up late? Because y'all know I be trying to go to bed early. I'm like a early bird type person. I don't be trying to stay up late like that for real, y'all. Um, but I just wanted to come on here and just have a conversation and have a real talk conversation because the father had been talking to me about some stuff, even regarding pushing the purpose and making changes, right? And I was just thinking about it. But tonight, right, I happened to be out. I was out to eat, and I was at the restaurant, and I happened to come across this group of young ladies. Okay, so I'm 34. I know people like, Brie, you still young. I am young, right? But I feel like everybody else who's younger than me is young, right? And so it's a group of young ladies. They had to be anywhere between 21 to 28. They might have been my age, but like the way they carried themselves, they did not come across as being my age. And so a lot of things from their conversation disturbed me. Okay, because I'm happy to overhear this conversation. I'm not trying to hear the conversation, but they are literally talking so loud, you cannot help but be engulfed in this conversation. And they began to talk about things. They talked about issues such as men, they baby daddies. They were talking about things such as setting men up. They were talking about things such as settling for men and how they really didn't want to be with the men that they were with, but they just settled for them. They talked about, like one of they I think actually it might have been two female friends that they were cool with, but they were annoyed with, right? Because she thought that she was better than them. They talked about, listen, they talked about a lot of stuff. They talked about, of course, which is not funny, but they talked about, sexual assault. They talked about, um, just a lot of things. You know what I mean? They even made fun of one young man that I guess one of them was talking to because he happened to come from a two-parent household. Like, and like I said, the conversation began to disturb me. And it began to disturb me because it was like, why aren't y'all talking about goals? You know what I mean? Not judging them because that's just where their mindset is locked. But it's like, why aren't you talking about goals, and why aren't you talking about progression, and why aren't you talking about like, ooh, like I'm trying to be an RN, or I'm trying to get my cosmetology license so I can become a beautician so that I can own my own business. And I guess in my mind, it was just kind of like, it was none of those types of conversations. It was not a productive conversation. It was just turned down. Every other word was a curse word, was the B word. You know what I mean? And it was just kind of like, man, like how far have we fallen? And where where is the older generation to begin to teach the younger generation what they need to be doing? Now, I'm very thankful that while growing up, I had older people around me. And even in my like early 20s, and even to this day, like I really don't have a lot of friends. Blessings to you, Lydia. I don't really have a lot of friends my age. Most of my friends are like 40s and up. You know what I mean? I hang out with a lot of older people. That's why I'm so wise as a young person, because I hang out with a lot of older people. You know what I mean? I don't, but like I said, it was so crazy because when I was sitting at the table and I was listening to the conversation, it was almost like looking at myself in a mirror. Like if I could have looked at myself 10 years ago, like, Brianna, that's where you were. You were in that level of trauma. You were still talking about stuff that was irrelevant. You did not care about no business at the time. Let's be real. You weren't thinking about no educate. I mean, you were educated, but you weren't thinking about like really doing something with your life. You know what I mean? You were just misguided. You still wanted to go to the club. You still wanted to party. You still wanted to smoke, drink, have sex with everybody, their mama. That's what you was doing, right? And so, you know, from that perspective, I understood it. But like I said, but I still had God. You know what I mean? Like I still had people speaking into my life and still praying for me to help push me in the right direction. And I guess in my thinking and what I saw was like, where are those for the younger generation? Because I feel like they don't have that. I just don't. You know what I mean? And I'm not, shoot, there's some people that's still my age and maybe a little bit older that still need mentorship. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it just really bothered me. Like it hurt my heart to see these women, and you know that they're wounded because like why you steady talking about past issues. You're not moving from the past. You guys are steady talking about things that are hurtful, painful, things that are not productive, that's going to help you grow. And so, like I said, I wanted to come on here to just really have that conversation, just for us to get to start thinking like, where are the older women that will help push, right, the younger generation, that will help mentor the younger generation where they need to go. It was so sad. Like your whole conversation, like I said, that whole conversation, I'm listening. You're talking about a man that you didn't even want to be with, like you settling for men. I'm like, where do we teach women to just settle? Like, why are we settling just for any old man, but then you don't even want to be with him, but you have a baby by him and then you get mad at him? It's just dysfunctional. Or you make fun of somebody because they come from a two-parent household. But that's how God designed it. But because we live in dysfunction, that, you know what I mean, the only way to function is, oh, I have to live like that. Like this is my life. I can't do that. And it's so sad because I remember even growing up, because I grew up in the hood. Okay, I grew up in the west end of Louisville. And but you got to understand, my parents, especially my mom, shout out, kudos to my mama. Because even though we grew up in the hood, my mama made sure that I was educated. I was a reader. Okay, I was reading all the time. Not saying I never got in trouble, but I used to read. I love to read, and my mom allowed me to be exposed to different cultures, and I was very cultured, right? Like I went to museums, I went on trips. You know what I mean? My mom even put me in those young programs for mentorships. I was in programs like the Whitney M. Young Scholar Program. There was another program in Louisville called Black Achievers. You know what I mean? Like pushing young Black children and minority children to become successful, to become leaders, right? And I'm just like, do we even have programs like that? And we probably do, but it's like, are we even sending our kids to those types of programs? Or are we too busy trying to make sure our kid got the latest iPhone and the latest Jordans and all the stuff that's irrelevant? It ain't helping them to grow. You know what I mean? We allowing our kids to listen to Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion and Migos and Lil Baby and all these little rappers out here that ain't productive for their growth, right? And all they want to do is what? Be a video vixen or a dancer, a singer, a rapper, or a football player, basketball player. Nobody want to be a doctor and lawyer no more. Nobody want to do stuff that's like very productive for society. It's just like, where have we went wrong in that? And I think we need to get back to really helping even people my age that are like, I'm not saying I'm perfect because I still got my ways, but like, baby, I ain't where I used to be. And some people know, especially if you know me from the past, how I used to wild out. I used to be crazy. But God has really changed me, and I'm very thankful for it. But it's just like now I'm like, okay, these people need help. Like women need help. You know what I mean? And so I'm thinking, like I said, even with pushing a purpose, like, yeah, I want to talk about purpose, but I feel like we can't even really even talk about purpose until we start talking about the full woman and the different issues that women deal with, young women deal with, and really helping to build that. Because it's like, until you start getting new information in your mind, that's why the Bible talks about what you have to be transformed in the renewing of your mind. You're going to continue to have the same thought processes, which is really a mental stronghold. Stronghold is really in your mind, and until it's broken through new knowledge, that's been buried deep in your subconscious mind, you're not going to change. You got to want to change. You got to want that. You know what I mean? But sometimes people want to change, but there's nobody there to show them the way. You know what I mean? Because everybody is too self-involved, or, well, you gonna pay me this millions of dollars. You know what I mean? Or oh well, you gonna figure it out yourself. I'm not about to help you. And it's just like, so that's what we do. But somebody helped push you, or somebody helped you, but we not gonna help nobody else ahead. So I think we got to just like be better in that, man. Like we gonna have to help these young people. I mean, I'm praying, we're gonna start really praying about that. Even down to the men, because young men still need mentors too. But I'm really realizing that a lot of these young women need mentors. They really need mentorship. And see, Lydia, you are right. Wisdom is still crying in the streets. The culture's cry is working hard to drown out its sound. Nevertheless, the spirit of Yahweh prevail as he uses the few that are willing. Amen. See, Lydia, I agree. I definitely agree to that, because I feel like I said, I feel like that's where the Lord's starting to pull me to, like he made me aware of it, to be like, this is why I need you to go in that direction, because there's women that don't know no better, because nobody has shown them better. You know what I mean? Nobody has sat there and said, listen, I'm going to be here for you through your process. Because people don't want to walk through people with their process. I know, because listen, I barely want to walk through my own process. But, because it's hard. It gets messy. It's nasty. It's like, oh, my Lord, I got to deal with that. You go, oh, goodness, you got your spirits. Oh, we got to do them spirits. You know what I mean? But if nobody ever shows them the way and helps them, they're just going to be trapped. This is how I feel about it. And so I wanted us to go to Titus, and my husband brought it up, and I completely forgot about it. But he had said how Apostle had talked about this last night on her teaching in Texas. But Titus, and I'm in Titus 2, and we're going to I'm reading from the Amplified 2:3. Older women similarly are to be reverent in their behavior, not malicious gossips, nor addicted to much wine, teaching what is right and good, so that they may encourage the young women to tenderly love their husbands, and their children to be sensible, pure makers of a home where God is honored, good nature, being subject to their own husbands, so that the word of God will not be dishonored. And I also too believe that we need mentors that's going to teach women how to be Proverbs 31 women. Now, Proverbs 31 women, not every woman is called to that. I believe that's a special grace. But still, people need to be taught, like, what is a Proverbs 31 woman? You know what I mean? Even in that. But yeah, we're gonna have to figure out something to really try to help these young women to love themselves and to see themselves. It's like, you think that you chasing after this man that you don't even want, but because you want love so bad, you want something so bad, you're willing to settle. But God gave up his very best, which was his son. You see what I'm saying? Like, he gave up himself for us. Like, no. I'm gonna wait on God's best for me. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I don't know, y'all. It just, like I said, that just hit me tonight. I really wanted to get on here and talk about this. And like I said, I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to definitely pray and ask the Father how to really either implement something or do something as a community or something. But we're going to have to do something to where these young women, and like I said, this ain't something I can do by myself. I need the old women above me, because I don't got it all. But I know a little something to be able to at least help them out with the starter kit. You know what I mean? So, what'd you say, Sia Lydia? Yes, change or metamorphosis is a bloody mess, but it is necessary. Yes, ma'am. It sure is. It sure is. And so, yeah, God, I said I was just coming on here real quick just to talk about what I seen, and like I said, the pull of that direction for that, where God was shifting me for pushing the purpose to where we start talking about the full woman. I don't know how we're going to do it yet. Still, God's still talking to me about that, but we're going to be relaunching that back soon. So I'm excited. I'm excited for what the Lord's doing in this season. Very busy season, but he is doing a new thing. And so just gonna go with the wind of God, gonna do and just be obedient to what his will is in this season. All right. All right. Well, I love y'all. Like I said, quick and out. See y'all later. Thanks, Sia Lydia, for jumping on. All right. Bye.